Hey there, YouTube. I'm Yukitsu. This is the Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to a little bit of Total War Romance of the Three Kingdoms. So I'm probably not going to play too much of this game, in all honesty, just because like the campaign looks pretty like staggeringly large, but also because like this isn't really my period of history. In all honesty, I don't have a tremendous amount of interest in this particular era of history, just because like there's so little actual historical record and archaeological records that I've looked into that I can find that are really detailed about China's military during this time period. And part of the problem is that China just historically has not been an overly militaristic society. They've sort of always appreciated things that make for more interesting games about civil engineering and society and city building and stuff like that, because that's what they really were experts in, and their armies were usually kind of mercenary in a sort of way that I find less interesting, as compared to like Rome's, which I've always had a preference for very professional armies and stuff like that. So it's just not really been my particular cup of tea, but at the same time, there are things that I think are quite interesting about the way they've set up this game. The thing is, just like a lot of their units are very much as I kind of expected them to be. You do have all the sort of typical, stereotypical roster of units that you'd see in any sort of Total War game, but they don't necessarily feel sort of like they've got the kind of differentiation that you would see in some of the other Total War games. In any event, though, like if we take a look at each of these guys, all their units are pretty similar based on the archetype that they fulfill. So if you're picking a commander, for example, his units are going to be a sort of balanced mixed roster of different things like that. Whereas if you've got this guy, I believe, is a strategist. Let's just double check that. Commander, he would also be that sort of similar thing. But depending on what you are, your unit selection is sort of locked in based on that, with a couple exceptions, couple exceptional units that you might specifically get. In any event, though, I'm not entirely sure who I want to pick. In a certain sense, there, I actually like Cao Cao or Cao Cao. I don't really know how to pronounce a lot of these names, so I do apologize in advance for that. He sort of fits what I like, which is a sort of economic and strategic style play. But at the same time, like he's also got the very easy starting situation, which means I don't really want to pick that, because I typically choose like the harder factions in these games. So Yuan Shu would be pretty good. What I'm actually going to go with there is Zhen Xiang, which is the Bandit Queen, just because I think that would make for a fairly interesting sort of character here. Unlike everyone else, you pick tribute during diplomacy, and you play a little bit like a sort of bandit. So this is the Romance of the Three Kingdoms mode. I'm going to skip this because it's actually not my favorite of openings for this. So yeah, just wanted to get into this a little bit and also start playing something again, just on account of I haven't been able to record lately. I'm actually really tired doing this one even. But yeah, if you're wondering where I've been, I've just had a lot more work lately, so I'm just too tired to record videos. It's nothing that serious, really. But, you know, it's one of those things that you don't have a whole lot of control of. I guess that, yeah, no, I was thinking it's like maybe you would if you own your own business, but no, not really, because like even if you own your own business, sometimes it just gets really swamped or whatever the hell. I don't really know. I don't own a business, so how the hell would I know? But it feels like they might have a season where it's just like a million clients just sort of bum rush them and they have to do a lot. And I also get the feeling that they're probably not the sort of people who spend a lot of time playing video games on YouTube, but you know. I think like part of the problem is that like this period of history in China, like it was based a lot around the sort of mythological stories rather than an attempt at sort of historical retellings, because that's actually a pretty rare thing. It's much more common in most places for there to be an account that's sort of mythologized. I think there were records, but I don't know anything. I don't know about the historicity about them. One thing that is weird is I thought this might have been a period where China still had chariots, but I don't think they do in this game. I'm not actually sure that they did during this time period, though. Chariots are one of those things that like people talk about being in armies and stuff like that, but realistically speaking, they didn't last very long through the history of warfare, just because they're not very, very good in certain respects there. I think during like the initial years of the Han Dynasty, that was when they had chariots, but there's still remnants of the Han Dynasty here. Anyway, this is China. In all of its, I have set it to low resolution glory. Alright, so we have to make our way past those Han forces there. The old empire is just being completely torn asunder, which is typical. And this is our army here, led by Zheng Jian. We've also got this other commander, our sub-commander here, Kong Tian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So each of these guys has different traits here. This guy's a lookout. He's a sentinel type general. So those sentinels are people who are better at leading types of heavy air infantry that are good at sort of guarding places. He's got 2 units of Axeman. We've got a champion here. Champions are better for personally going in and kicking people's asses. She's also leading good. She's got her own sort of unique units of bandit axe units, sort of things there. So, anyway, let's try a fight, as is the typical thing here. I forgot to set this to like a harder difficulty, but we'll see here. So I think delegate just means like auto resolve or whatever there. We got theoretically superior forces here. He's just got his 2 units of archers. We don't have any cavalry, however, so we are going to have to fight this one somewhat honestly. The hidden axe unit, I think, has crossbows as well, or bows. I'm not sure which. I was looking at their unit card, and they've got like an attack that's got the same range as most units of ranged units, so 200-ish. I'm not sure what that actually means. So if you're wondering why I'm playing this character, it's because there's that bandit character, I can't remember her name, in but yeah, there's that that sort of character from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, who's kind of like her in a certain sense there, although she was a noble, and Zheng Jian is apparently very much not a noble, so but became sort of a bandit queen and swordsman and went around beating people up for no good reason whatsoever, in all honesty. I really like the design for her axes, though. They seem like horribly impractical. Like, the heads on those are just way too big. They look way too heavy for a historical type weapon, but then again, this is also like the a non-historical version of the game that I'm playing, so. Her armor is also interesting. It's got that kind of lamellar that the Japanese would later adopt to a certain extent there. But I'm not sure how historical it is to have like one shoulder pad and then like fur on the other side there. That seems very peculiar. Anyway. So yeah, I'll play a couple of these. I'll play into it a little bit, but probably not all the way to the end on video here because I'm not too sure what I expect out of this one. One of the things for me has always been that I never actually beat these games through my brilliance on the battle screens. My ability to beat Total War games on Legendary difficulty always came from my ability to manipulate the economic side of things, and I'm not 100% sure if that's something that is emphasized in this one. I haven't heard very much about how the economy side of this works. I know that if you're playing certain things, you can abuse the ever-loving hell out of trade. But, alright, so these are her special units here, and they have got this ranged unit here. Still not entirely sure like what exactly the ranged unit attack is. You can also see they've got Vanguard deployed. I don't want them to be Vanguard deployed if our opponent here is, you know, going to be... Oh, that's different. Okay, how do I get it to not deploy like that? Huh. So it automatically sort of groups things that you select so that it keeps them in... Oh no, it actually just automatically stacks them by type. The problem is that this is actually a mixed unit and I don't want it up front there. So maybe I could toggle on fire at will, and that might change that into a ranged unit. So let's see if that... Nope, that does not change the behavior. Interesting. If I turn off melee mode, what about that? Nope. Alright, so I'm just going to have to do this sort of manually here. We've got our 2 swords units here. They have got shields, so we keep them up front. Got this spear unit. It does not have shields. We'll just keep them in the back here. And we'll just have this be our sort of formation. We'll have our general, Zheng Jian, go and kick that guy's ass personally. And let's see if the grouping is the same way as usual. Looks like it. Okay. So, yeah. Is she riding a horse? She should be here. And is she riding a horse with 2 axes? She is. That seems horribly impractical. And this guy over here has got a sword. He's not terrible at fighting, if I recall correctly, but I would not choose him to fight with a sword as the primary. So we're a fast, hard-hitting sort of bandit force of infantry here. Whereas we could be playing someone else who might have like just a very large number of missile units. And I'm going to get these guys to go ahead and attack these guys here. Ranged attacks there, and I'm going to have our general go ahead and just charge into that guy. I don't want her to get that far ahead, actually, but is there a way to specifically... Alright, so here we go. You can see that our units up front here, 118 of them. They're taking a little bit of damage, but they have got the ability to survive a little bit more arrow fire just because they're shields. And we're going to go ahead and just charge these guys straight ahead here. Our general does not really need your aid that badly. It's probably fine. So their archer militia are taking some knocks here. Going to go ahead and make sure this guy is going after these archers as well. The reason I'm sending him there with this sword is because he'll be able to sort of beat up those guys a little bit. How do I duel? 1v1 me, bro. Wait. Huh. Like, I know that he's not, like, a named general or anything like that, so I think what happens is, like, our general just walked up and just, like, smashed him in the face with an axe, and he just immediately died. But, still, that feels like it was a little bit too fast. You can see her just, like, going friggin' to town on these archers here. Like, I think she's already killed, like... What is her kill count here? She's already mowed down 54 people. She is so much more effective than a Total War general at this. Like, holy shit. I'm glad that that's actually a thing, because I've always found, like, it's been a little bit annoying getting, like, especially smaller units to properly run down these units of fleeing just peasant archers or whatever the hell, and it's just like, oh man, this is taking a long time. This is really annoying. But if I can get her to just properly, like, kill every single one of those guys, or our other general as well, to, like, run down... where'd he go? God damn it. Wonder why he didn't continue chasing. Alright, so let's get these guys back on the case of these guys. I'm wondering if it's just her, because her attack is really, really high. Like, if we look at her stats, she's actually got, like, 2.2k, whatever the hell this is, melee damage. Holy shit. Melee attack rate's quite high there. She's got good melee charge bonus there. Melee damage base is really high. So all those stats there would indicate that, like, she's capable of just kicking a lot of ass. This guy, not quite as much. He has got a very high attack rate, though, so... No, he's looking like he's about as good, so I think it's just literally if they come in contact with one of these little peasant-y type units, they just mow them over instantly. Now, you don't want your side generals getting too powerful, because they will, like, rebel against you. It would be nice if, like, the minor characters are ones that you could switch to, though. If they did get too powerful, there might be a way to do that. I'm not sure. That poor peasant is just like, whoop. Oh no, he took a swipe and missed, so there is still some sort of, like, thing going on there. I think the unit collision, though, is actually taking them out. I always like these sort of mechanical or, like, sort of considerations. It's like, how does this actually work is always something I want to know. Alright, so we did lose, like, 10 dudes, probably a little bit more, maybe. No, exactly 10. Our archers and our axe unit both got a little bit of... kills there, not tons, but you can sort of see the difference. Like, these guys probably broke as well and started running and got shot at from behind or stuff like that, but the shields made a big difference in terms of, like, who was getting killed and how many kills were being caused. So the fact that they also formation changed in the middle of combat probably didn't help them any. So part of your composition for this is really just about finding, like, the right characters, so that you've got the right kinds of units available to you. So if you've got, like, a vanguard, for example, you'll have access to really good heavy shock cavalry. Whereas if you've got the strategist, you've got access to, like, siege weaponry, and you've got access to really good archers. So if you need, like, good archers, you need to add in a strategist. or if you need a balanced, you don't really ever need balanced commanders. If you've only got one commander by themselves, then a commander is good because they can get a little bit of everything. But since you can't really fill an entire army with just one person, what you're actually best off doing is getting like a good selection of different people. So you pick someone who's got like good sword and axe infantry, and then you get someone who's got like good cavalry, and then you get someone who's got like good archery. Okay, so I think at this point in time, like what I kind of want to do is try keeping our supplies in good order, since those other ones I don't feel like we really need. All right, so we got a taste of victory and glorious victory, and we got a bunch of extra experience points. Support from the people. So yeah, there's lots of like minor people's rebellions, and she is kind of doing one of those people's rebellions to a certain degree there. Let's see what she's actually got here. See, she's still just an outlaw. Yeah, it would be lovely if I could get further up along here, obviously, but not entirely sure how to do that. I think that I'm supposed to be heading over to this town here. So they've got a nameless commander again here. They've got a unit of G militia, so spearmen there. Actually, this isn't a proper general. This is a defending militia unit. I'm wondering if this is this unit or if these are two separate units. Let's check the number, 481. So this must be a separate unit. Yeah, so this is a separate unit. And they've got like a guy in there probably. All right, well, let's give it a go. What's all this stuff? Turns until supplies deplete. So this is if I sieged it. So I probably didn't actually need to take the supplies in that previous one, because I think once we've got a town, we probably don't have to worry about supply. You obviously don't start off with a town with every faction. Like Zhenjiang not having a town makes sense just in the sense that she's a bandit. I'm not even sure, like I might be a nomad. I might not be allowed to actually take villages, which would be awkward. I wouldn't like that if that was the case, but would not necessarily surprise me if that was true. I can probably actually use my two leaders, though, to just charge straight into the archers. Like, I don't probably need to worry about them, because they're so much more powerful than, like, just these standard guys, as long as I'm not getting attacked by these militia. Probably, for the sake of it, still probably better to not get them pin-cushioned too badly, just use my actual axe militia to sort of get in there, take the blows, and then focus fire down their spearmen with my archers and axe archers. I tend to gravitate towards factions that have like melee competent archers for some reason, even though they're usually pretty bad. Hopefully they're good in this game. These are kind of like the Strelets from like other versions of other games where you've got the Russian unit with the gun and the gigantic axe. Except obviously a much, much earlier version of that. I don't know, what would I have gotten really though? Like $45 or like 2% replenishment. So 2% would mean like 2 extra people back, I think. I think that's how they calculate it. Siege of Taiyuan. It's a town. I don't know if they actually necessarily walled all their towns in China, because this looks actually quite regimented, like a military fort kind of town. I'm not sure that they did that for the smaller towns in China, but they might have. I know they had good hill forts. That was sort of the type of fortification that was preferred in China, but by hill fort I mean like they'd have the dirt mounded up, so it would create like a, instead of building like a castle wall and then having platforms in the castle, you would just mound up the soil and then build a wall around the soil as a retaining thing, and this would let you sort of more easily accomplish certain things, like having your walls stay up from an engineering perspective. All right, so get these guys like that, and I want you guys on range mode. Then we want these axemen. So they have got towers, which is a little bit intimidating. Towers can actually be really, really brutal in Total War games, so I'm not sure if that's going to be the case here. But we'll find out, I guess. The bows feel like they've got really long range in this game, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so you guys are the infantry. Yeah, we're taking shots already from these towers, and they are absolutely dealing damage here. Which is not really what I like to see, but, you know, whatever. Oh, these archers are in a very interesting position here. So I think what we want to do is try and take out these towers real quick here. And we are taking out these G militia pretty fast. And I'm going for the back one first so that I can, once I've sort of wiped them out, we can sort of move into the second unit over here. But alright, I'm going to charge my generals into these halberd infantry up front here along with my infantry charge here. The reason I'm doing this is that she's got Scare Enemy as an ability. Alright, and what we're hoping to do here is just take over this wall here. I'm going to run out of ammunition pretty quickly on these guys, but we'll continue on with what we're doing here for just a little bit longer. I just need to gain control of this stuff here. Have I got any abilities here? Bonus splash damage. Don't think I really need to worry about melee evasion necessarily here. Alright, so these archers are taking some pounding here. Down quite a few, actually. Our archers are quite deadly. Our swordsmen, though, Axeband, getting absolutely walloped here, which is fine. They're pretty inexpensive infantry, I think. Alright, now we should be able to start hacking down some of these guys here. The G militia, I think, are a little bit stronger than standard militia, but I'm not too sure about that. Alright, we've broken through both those lines there. Alright, we're going to do this like this here. These guys are out of ammunition. I'm going to charge them forward. Actually, I'm going to have them capture this. The one unit of archers I've noticed, like my actual dedicated archers, have much higher... I've noticed my dedicated archers have much higher ammunition. Screw it, I'm going to attack these things. Oh, I think we got those guys to run away. Our general's taking some shots there. That's fine. Let's just take out these barricades here. Oh, my axemen are retreating, it looks like. Oh, that's interesting. Because of the nature of that retreat there, I think they're going to take some damage. Alright, our axes I want back in there. So how much damage can these guys do to this kind of barricade here? It looks like it's actually quite slow, so these barricades are actually very effective, it looks like. Oh, we won somehow. Alright, it's probably just a morale thing. It's my guess there. Gonna hit claim victory so we don't keep taking more damage from those towers there. I could rematch this actually, but... You know, I think I will try rematching this. What we're going to try doing is just focusing all of our arrows on their archers, and we'll see if that's a more effective strategy against this kind of town here. Obviously, like, the most effective would be if I had, like, real siege artillery, so I could take out the towers, perhaps, but, yeah, I'm not sure what these towers are even firing. Like, it feels like they've got some sort of ridiculous attacks there. But, yeah, our champion and our... Sentinel. Neither of these guys are actually all that good at taking out infantry, like pike infantry or halberd infantry, but they're still both overpowered heroes. They're still capable of charging into that kind of fight and still winning, especially if I've got like that much extra splash damage. Plus, I think only one of them is actually a really good unit. The other one I think is a bit weaker. Alright, so... I'm not sure actually as well. Like, I wonder if archers are powerful enough to take out entire units by themselves. Like, could they kill one whole unit of archers by themselves, or would they run out of arrows before they could kill an entire unit? Like, I noticed in Total War Warhammer 2, one of the things I really disliked about it was that a lot of archer units didn't trade very cost efficiently. So even if they were getting perfect shots against like unarmored parts of units, they didn't have enough ammunition to actually make their cost back against a lot of things. If you had the armor penetrating version, then they'd cause a lot more damage against armored units. but they would cost enough more that they wouldn't necessarily make their money back. Some of them did, some of them didn't. But a lot of things in that game were relatively inexpensive and relatively resilient against Archer Fire, just because Archer Fire didn't cause a huge amount of damage. The Archers actually seem like they've got a good amount of damage in this version. Alright, so we're going to, again, turn off those behaviors. Okay, so we need these guys out like that, these guys like this. And the spears are mostly just going to be for capture and stuff like that, but in any event there, let's get ready and charge forward again. And we're going to get our Axemen charging forward again. Oops. Alright, so yeah, medium halberd infantry versus light halberd infantry. So the medium infantry, I think, is going to be much... You can even tell from like the formations, like there's differences there, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm wondering if like there's got to be a difference in terms of like just how much damage you take from like pikes and stuff like that as well. Just kamikaze run into this sort of thing here. Looks like she's got a lot of hit points there, 23,000, so... Let's activate both of our abilities here. I'm not entirely sure what's causing the AI to do what it's doing here, because the AI's kind of let me really pile my troops in while they were kind of reforming in a way that I don't think was probably good for their health, but at this point in time, things should go a lot more our way, a lot more quickly, since our heroes aren't being like surrounded and stuff like that. And yeah, like those big charges, and well, they kind of are, because they're kind of just running straight into the mix of things in a way that's probably not very healthy for them, but I'm gonna march my spears up to capture this thing. And I'm going to have my axes attack these barricades, because I'm betting that makes a difference. Oh, yeah, that was a much, much faster victory. Because these guys were a bit more morale broken just from all the arrows. I'm just going to hit claim victory to not take the extra shots there. Alright, so we're learning here. We're learning, and that's part of the experience there. These sieges, like even a basic town siege, feels like it's pretty brutal. Just in terms of the number of losses you can take doing it, but... Ooh, our archers actually got 50 and 65 kills respectively. That's actually quite a decent amount. I was like wondering, like, how many kills would they actually get before they ran out of ammunition? I don't think they actually even ran out of ammo. But it makes a big difference, it looks like, being able to fire arrows in this game compared to some of the other ones. I like that. I think part of that's also because, like, unlike the previous game, there's no like armor-piercing flat projectile. As far as I know, I can't tell if the crossbows actually are going to be a flat projectile, because that made a big difference in Total War Attila. But the stats are so similar for archers that I can't imagine that they fire like their firing behavior is that different. I imagine, like, unless you've got the Chuko News, they're probably all pretty similar to one another, I'd imagine, but we'll have to find out, I guess. She personally got 50 kills. He actually got 53 kills. That was really good for him. I recall that, like, it said something about certain ones being better at attacking certain things. I think she's not actually as good at attacking spearwood. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and occupy right away. Alright. Yeah, she seems angry for some reason, but, you know, who knows why. Alright. This looks like actually a pretty involved sort of system, and I do like that. So it looks like we'll have to go down to Taiyun next to take out that iron mine. We've got enough move to get some of the way there. What's this here? Let's see. I'm guessing that he's just unhappy. If I recall correctly, like, part of the problems that Zheng Jie... Oh, she's also got an X here. I wonder if this has to do with, like, healing? No, it's just disharmony. Alright, well, nothing I can really do about that sort of situation there, so I won't. Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out here. We can upgrade our building here, the state workshops. That would cost us 2,100. What would this do? Plus 200 income. Learning and market building construction cost reduced. That does seem useful. And we're also looking at this drifter workforce camp. This one gives you more population growth, learning and market building construction cost reduced. Okay, so we could also try to raise an army here. Could tax exempt them, but I don't think that would really help any. Alright, how do I actually... let's see here. How do I actually get more units here? Stance, normal. Faction developments. Yeah, this is our new capital here. Okay, killed in battle was our enemy there. Is there not a tech? Is that reforms maybe? Next reform in 3, so I can't get one now. It looks like you take reforms after you've gotten the points for it. And this is also a very confusing looking... Yeah, this is looking like a very interesting, confusing kind of thing. Population growth over there, foreign envoys, private tutors. Well, I'll look through all this stuff like on my own time, I think. For now, that's something we can ignore. What I need to do is figure out how to actually increase the number of what I've got here for... Let's just get rid of that here. So experience points here, I can get more resolve and patience and stuff like that. I can get more guile and cunning. What I probably should actually try to do is find ways to make it so that people dislike her less. I think that might be something that you have to worry about with this particular character. I'm not sure what stat that would actually be. Plus 20% income from peasants. I do like the sound of that. Plus 5 food production. This sounds actually pretty good as well. I do tend to go for food production in these games. I'm going to go for that and just we'll figure that out if that's any... Oh wait, relations. So the one person I don't like is this one person I'm bringing with me as my general here. Fantastic. Okay, I've got 2 sets of armor. That's interesting. I could actually... Not equipable. This is currently in use by another character. Okay. Weapons, I've got 3 sets. I could, for example, use this heirloom spear, which I probably stole from someone. But I think the axes are what I'm going to stick with. Accessories. Okay, so I could give someone else like one of these things to increase their satisfaction, which I think would probably be a good idea. What I probably want to do is actually swap out this guy for a different one. Like we've got our faction heir Lu Zheng here, who's a strategist rogue. Well, the Red Sisters. Interesting. I like how I can't get back to the character from that person's... Alright, so here's where I could potentially look up units, and here's where I can recruit units maybe? No? It's Clever, greedy, and determined are her traits. Right, well, we're going to go ahead and apply this if we can. How do I actually apply this? This is interesting, but I don't necessarily think that it's a great way of having done the UI. Like, why can't I? Oh, geez. Okay, well, apparently these ones were all ones I already had. So that's how that works. So the only one I could unlock was Trust, which I think is okay. It's not the one I really think is necessary, but apparently I already had the ones that I wanted. Okay. Right, so how do I change this? Can't recruit this turn. No, I don't want to do that. Swap selected retinue. So here's what I could do. Let's see here. He doesn't like Kong Tian, but he does like Zhen Jiang, so I could swap those guys out like this. Could probably also do the same thing. It looks like just nobody likes Kong Tian except for his Chu Gong. Man, these are tricky for me. I think I want Lin Yin Li, who's also a Sentinel, so we're going to go ahead and confirm that. And then, can I add another one? There might be a maximum that I can... there might be a maximum number I can have at a time here. Alright, well either way, let's see if I can't still get these guys down to this place. It might be worth attacking this early. There's another bandit guy up here in Yanmen, which is interesting. Should be able to be relatively friendly with that guy, but I kind of want to go ahead and get to the toolmaker down here. Alright, it's telling me not to do that, I guess. Alright, fine. I guess missions. She must act like a queen. That's not going to happen. Alright, well, this is all very peculiar. Could pick up our diplomacy tab here, actually, and talk to Zhang Yan. See here, everyone dislikes Dongzhou, everyone dislikes the Han Empire, which is pretty typical. Let's see what he is willing to do here. Let's see if we can get a trade thing here. We'll make them a payment of 50, I think, and see if that looks like they need quite a lot more money. Could give them some food. Oops, no, I don't want to request food. Can't offer food. I'm guessing we don't have enough. Yeah. They'll do it for 138. So this will give me, I think, let's see, we'll get a 301 with some modifiers from this, so this is worth us getting, so let's go ahead and propose that. This will also make them less likely to attack us and stuff like that. Yeah, that's lovely. Let's go ahead and hit this here. We'll see what we can also recruit at this point in time. I don't think we're going to have a humongous amount of stuff that we've got recruitable at the start of the game here. I'm also kind of wondering, like, how do I get out of this place here? Like, this place is pretty hemmed in by stuff. It's also interesting, like, I've got a limited number of generals, it looks like, so I'm not sure. And each general can only have, like, a small fraction of an army, like a third of an army per general, which is really interesting. I'm not a huge fan of that style. Like I've said, I'm more about the economy and just churning out humongous waves of troops and throwing, like... Alright, let's see what we can recruit here. Oh, I can recruit through this system, but let's see what we got here. Okay, so there's the Saber Militia. There is her specialty, the Hidden Axes. I could get some cavalry at this point in time. Mounted Lancers or Mounted Sabers. I think the Mounted Sabers have got like shields that are a little bit better at hunting down archers and stuff like that, which might be useful in the early game. They're also a bit cheaper than the Lancers, which I think are going to be a little bit better overall. I don't think she needs another archer. That's probably not what she's going to be about here. I do feel like having like some cavalry though would be a really good addition to her. For this guy, he actually has different units, as you can see here. He's got access to these Jian sword guards, which could be actually a really powerful unit in this stage of the game. We can also get, of course, our extra whatever here. We could actually add in Lu Zheng here, which would get us an extra pair of archers here. She's a strategist, so this would be a fairly satisfied general there. It would increase our upkeep cost and it would cost some recruitment here to initially do. I think this might be a good investment. I'm wondering if I can do this without screwing over my movement, though. We'll find out. Okay, so we've now got all this going on here, and her units are actually pretty much... Neither of these guys have full-size units right now. Her units here, she's also got access to these trebuchets, which is great. Our money is a bit low here, so we might have to wait a little bit here, but I could also, for example, get some crossbowmen. As you can see, longer range than the regular archers for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that is. They have got good against armor, so maybe they have got the flat projectile like the handgunners in Total War Attila. Melee troops, not necessarily up to snuff there. Yeah, so we'll find out how that all goes. I think in terms of our town, though, this upgrading is fine. I think we wait a little bit longer here just because our units are so badly injured that they're definitely going to need a little bit more downtime. I'm going to go I'm actually going to wait until these guys are almost fully healed here. I don't need to go all the way to fully healed, but I think at least like have 80 in the melee units there. Shihei there is deserted. I could probably just buy that, is probably how that works. I don't feel like I'm doing this right, though. Like, I feel like normally in this sort of situation you want to have that faster tempo. But, yeah, having your units not full when they start off like that is kind of weird. I'm just going for... I'm not buying any units right now. I'm just going to wait till my units count... Or I'm just going to wait until we've got enough money to, like, buy this upgrade here. I think that that's going to be a pretty good sort of thing there. Raise army in the town. Could also upgrade apparently the town's defenses, it looks like. Yes, this is just how we just get another flat-out army. The only problem is, like, if I did Chongqian, he'd just be by himself, so... The problem here is also, like, it's winter now, so I don't want to march out right yet. People of Merit. Yanpu, Yangsong. I think these are other potential, like, generals that we could potentially get if we did things right, which we're probably not going to do. What's it telling me about here? Chongqian has got something going on here. What's going on here? Like, what's up with this guy? Yeah, everyone hates this guy. Why is he even here? boy. Okay, so low general satisfaction. Yeah, I already know about that. Okay, let's give him an accessory here. I don't need to give him authority, but alright, so that'll increase his satisfaction just a little bit there, keep him in line. Now that should be out of winter. I might attack now that it's out of winter, even though it's a little bit earlier than I thought I wanted to. But we won't take too long, I don't think, to get our army down there. Yellow Turban Rebellion. They've got lots of interesting stuff going on for them. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just spend a little bit of time. Yep, it's no longer winter. Yeah, I definitely should have done more of that, but let's go ahead and move this way now that it's summer. They've sure got a lot of little tooltips. I probably should have gone and disabled that. Alright, so we got a reform choice. So yeah, you do wait till you get the reform choice and then you pick it. Generally speaking, growth is usually really good in these sorts of games here. Not really going for commerce just yet. Peasantry might be a good thing to do here. I think this one's like this because we've already done it. So I feel like we go for growth here. Yeah, so I think the ones with the flowers have those reforms already done. So we'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and hit this here. I probably need to do something about those guys to make them a little bit happier. Give one of those guys an army, maybe. But then the question is, like, how do I get, like, a third army? Or another army, rather. Alright, so I don't think these guys have managed to get any real garrison here, but we'll probably still have to deal with quite a lot of forces. Which is fine at this point, because we've got a decent amount of extra troops. Well, actually, not really. Alright, so well, they got some cavalry there, but at the same time, I kind of almost feel like I want to just delegate this one because it's predicting low casualties here, so I'm just going to delegate. I'm guessing it like auto-resolve undervalues towers, because that's been a traditional thing in a lot of these games here, just not having enough I'm guessing like when our infamy gets too high here, it probably screws us over. So yeah, I don't know if that's like better for us to do it that way, but I really feel as though like I should go with just heavy melee infantry with this guy, because that's kind of what he's got going for him here. These Jian swordsmen I think are probably quite powerful, and I can just go for these crossbow infantry here and like a trebuchet for this one over here. And these are actually pretty inexpensive. Like these crossbows are a lot cheaper than I thought they would be. But I'm going to go for this cavalry first here, and then I'm just going to wait out a little bit. We've got enough money for some stuff, but like, how come I can't upgrade this? Oh, can only construct one building at a time per commandery. Okay, so what we have to do is just wait till next turn. So all I need to do is make sure that we have enough money for that by next turn, which means we should recruit a little bit more. Now, do I recruit more melee infantry, or do I recruit more? I feel like we actually get the melee infantry right now. We'll get one unit of these sort of more elite swordsmen, and I think that will be quite good there. Let's see here. We're adjacent to some more people now. Let's go hit our diplomacy tab here. Zhang Yan. Let's go negotiate with him. Nope, I do not want to go to war here. Alright, I could trade territory. I could go trade this one. He definitely does not want to trade with me for some reason. Damn. Galgan. Yeah. Oh, there's a limit to how many trade routes you can get. I'm guessing that increases via tech. Okay, so the one that I've currently got is actually probably fine. I'm wondering if I've got like a special thing because I've got like the capital of the region here, or if I even do have the capital here. Like, I wonder if there's edicts or something like that that you can get here. Oh, minus change. A lot of things happening. All right. The amount of rice we're getting is also like 0, which is interesting. Okay. Well, either way, let's go ahead and hit this up. I'm guessing this guy's also unsatisfied, like, currently. Yeah, so we'll just give him an accessory as well here. We'll give him the... Let's give him the clay fish. I think that he'll like that. Okay, so we can do that. We could also give him an army. That would probably make him happier too. And I think that, like, our other guy here, it might just be a lost cause. Like, I don't know if that's something that we'll be able to deal with. But in any event, I think that's going to be everything we do for today. So, yeah, I hope you found this video enjoyable. I know I've found it a good learning experience in any event. I'll try to upload a little bit more regularly, but again, it's just a busy time of year for me. So, you know, have to do what you have to do sometimes. In any event, though, I hope you found this episode enjoyable. And, of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.